I will call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag's in the back corner. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as we start our annual meeting, we'll progress as we have in the past. The first item of business then after the pledge is the election of a chairperson. Do I hear any nominations for chairperson?
I would nominate the esteemed and honorable chairman of the school board as our chair for this meeting.
I'll second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded that I chair the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. I will accept that duty with gratitude and honor. The next item of business then is the approval of the 2016 annual meeting minutes. You guys in your packet have the minutes?
Page 5.
On page 5. If you guys want to take a few minutes and read them, you can. And then I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as printed.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the 2016 annual meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the approval of the budget and tax levy. And I will turn it over to Mr. Ernst for that part.
Okay. So I have in your guys' packet the preliminary budget, and then in the annual meeting packet the numbers. So the numbers are the same as they were in the preliminary budget when we went over that. So if you want to turn to page 7 in the annual packet, we can go through the numbers. So in the first kind of table is the Fund 10, the general fund. This is where the majority of our monies, revenue and expenditures come in and out of. So revenues, if you want to look at the beginning fund balance, I guess let me back up. In the far right column, the blue column, that's the proposed budget for the 2017-2018, and then moving right to left is the years prior, 16-17, and then 15-16. So the beginning and end Fund 10 balance, you can see that $1,381,921, and the ending fund balance is the same. If we kind of work our way down for the revenues in Fund 10, we can go to the local 200s, which are property taxes, student fees, admissions, stuff like that. So in the preliminary budget, the numbers are the same. So the property taxes right now, which those will officially come out in October, but right now it's $985,000. But the total local 200s are $1,011,666. Below that, the interdistrict payments, which are mostly open enrollment, $434,896. Like I said at the preliminary budget, those are when you're in my position budgeting, those are a little scary numbers because open enrollment fluctuates quite a bit. So we had, even last year, I remember the numbers changed quite a bit from when I presented the preliminary and the annual budget. Those numbers even changed, and even throughout the year those changed with the families sometimes being transient. So right now those are the proposed numbers of where we're at. The intermediate sources, the source 500, that's aid from CISA, that's 3,000. Kind of moving our way down. The state sources, which is our categorical aid, equalized aid, and sparsity aid, that's $5,350,679. That's when you look at the numbers, and even later in this packet, that's the majority of our funding is from the state. Is that 5 million? 5 million. You know, even over our overall budget is right around that 9 million mark. That's a huge chunk of our budget comes from the state. The federal money, which is for our district, is Title I, Title II, any grants that we receive. That's our total federal dollars is $107,474. And then 800 and 900 sources. All other sources are just 37,500. So our total revenue for Fund 10, kind of the proposed revenue, I'd like to say best guess, honestly, is $6,945,215. And then if we work our way down, the expenditures, the instruction, which is the function, 100,000. That's your salaries, your curriculum, anything directly connected to instruction, is $3,257,096. Support services, which are your 200,000 functions. So that's your operations, your transportation, your maintenance. It's really your day-to-day functioning within the district. So not directly related to instruction, but still kind of your must-have for ensuring both of the buildings are functioning and running properly. So that's at the $2,586,897. And then your non-program transactions, so that's open enrolling out student, your money that you have to transfer over to special ed for making sure that your special ed budget is zero, and then your Fund 38 and 39, which that's the referendum dollars and your energy exemption monies. So that's at $1,101,222. So total expenditures, if you look, that number is the exact same as the total revenues. So we, in our district, historically have done a balanced budget. I'm continuing with that because of the huge ramifications with, we talked at a previous meeting, if you don't do that, how much that can affect your aid coming in and out of the district. Can really extremely hurt you, negatively impact the district if you underspend or if you overspend. So right now our total Fund 10.
Mr. Chairman?
Question?
Yeah.
You hit on it very slightly when you went by. Is there a reason why our property taxes income is $200,000 less than the previous year? Is there have you received any notice why?
I would like to say it's because of a phenomenal new superintendent, but it's not. It's because we receive more state aid, so then that will impact
Okay.
the.
But that's
So that's our best guess right now. On that, later in the pack, you'll see that the mill rate is lower as well. But this is only based off of if the numbers come in as if they're as what they're.
yeah. I just kind of curious that
Yep.
that much difference from one year to the next. So
Yeah.
I wondered what it was.
So fingers crossed that everything works out the way that that they're saying it's going to work out, and this is that proposal. But we're receiving more aid, state aid,
Okay. Thank you.
which will impact the local dollars. So like I said, so Fund 10, the revenues and expenditures are the exact same. That $6,900,000 mark. That out of $9 million is a huge chunk of our budget. So the general budget is your majority of your budget, which is Fund 10. Then moving down to Fund 27, which is Special Projects Fund. So this is any monies directly related to special education. We have the beginning balance and ending balance has to be zero. We don't really have a choice with that. Revenues and expenditures are the exact same at that $1 million mark. And then going back to the preliminary budget, we have the transfer in. We transfer approximately almost 600,000 from Fund 10 to kind of cover the difference within Fund 27, which means we spend more than kind of what we budget for in that Fund 27, and we transfer out of the Fund 10 to cover the difference. We receive in revenue state aid. We receive 15,000 in transitive state aid, and then total state aid, which it used to be called handicap state aid, is 180,000, and then the special project grant is 218,000. So total revenue and total expenditures are the exact same, $1,907. Fund 38 and 39, which is the next table down. Like I said previously, those are your referendum dollars and then your energy exemption dollars. So beginning balance right now is at $159,918. And revenue and expenditures are a little different. And to be honest with you, the company Baird has historically, they do all of that for our district, and that goes way before me. And the difference is, I believe, is interest is why there's more revenue than expenditures, because they have a slotted amount that we pay every year. Fund 46, like I said, when you guys just recently approved that fund, that's kind of the, I'd like to say the safety net, so we don't overspend, so we don't underspend, but then also thinking big picture, it's a 5-year plan, hopefully, to have some money that's allocated towards eventually putting on a new roof in this building, whether we have to go referendum or we do some type of energy exemption act to cover that cost. We'll have hopefully a good amount of money in that fund. Right now we have $100,000 that I slotted last year that you guys approved. Hopefully this year we'll have anywhere from 20 to 100 in there as well, depending on the year and how things go. I wanted to back up in that first table, the Fund 10, I forgot to mention the equalized aid. That's in that state sources. That's where the majority of our aid comes out of the equalized aid. We get almost $5 million, which is based off of our enrollment. And then the per pupil, like I talked about in the regular board meeting, right now it's being talked about anywhere an increase of $0 up to $204 increase per student, which means for our district could range anywhere from $0 to, if we get the full amount for this year, the $204 per student could be $122,400 for the Clear Lake district.
How many students do we have?
I based that off of 600. So we have 650, but this isn't based off of actual student bodies. They like pre-cares are like a 0.6, so they're not quite a 1.0. So it's right around the 600.
Ratio.
Yeah, they don't eat as much. So. Yeah, once they get to kindergarten, then they're considered one student. So ranging anywhere from 0 to 122,000 this year, and then the governor's proposal is 204 this year, and then 200 additional 200 next year. So within 2 years could be, about 200,000 extra dollars for our district. So we'd be interested to see how that all shakes out. Fund 46 we talked about, so we can move on to page 8. Fund 50 is our food service fund. Beginning balance, $117,950. So total revenue and expenditures, like I said before, a match for Fund 50, and that's at $422,900. For Fund 50 meal revenues, we are at we're budgeting $200,000, and then commodities at $30,000, which is kind of an average over the last 2 years. and then Wisconsin Food Service Aid, $7,900, and then federal food service aid, $185,000, which brings us to the total of $422,900. Down to the next table is Fund 80. Fund 80 is Community Service Fund. We are levying $30,000 through the property taxes this year, which is comparable to years past, a little more. Last year we levied $20,000, and then other revenue is $50,000, so a total revenue of $80,000, and then total expenditures of $78,986. Then if you go down to the last one is the all funds. So the gross total all funds is $9,462,317. Then you take out those transfers of $645,318, brings us to a net total of expenditures at $8,816,999 for all of our funds in the district. Any questions before we move on to the graphs? No? Okay, so on page 9 we have graphs. So Fund 10, which is our general fund, which is, like I said before, is the majority of our operations for the district come out of that. 77% of our budget is state funded, is state aid. 15% comes out of our local aid, which majority is property taxes. Our federal dollars is 1%, which is $107,474. And then other revenue is 7%, which is $475,396. Total fund expenditures, instructional. I broke it down: instructional, non-program, and then support services. So instructional is at 47%, which is directly, I don't want to say impacting, because the non-program and support staff services impact students, but it's directly related to students. So it's your salaries, your anything with curriculum and directly related to students. Support staff services are the 37%, which is the $2,586,897, and then the non-program is 16% at the $1,101,222. And then so that's just the Fund 10, and then on page 10 is all of our total funds. So within our district we have Fund 10, Fund 27, 38 and 39. I combine those because they're so closely related, and then Fund 50 and Fund 80. So 73% of our expenditures come out of Fund 10. 11% come out of Fund 27, which is special ed. 38 and 39, there's 11% of our expenditures. And Fund 50, which is kitchens, food service, 4%. And then Fund 80, the community services, is 1%. And the numbers within that table below directly correlate with the numbers that I previously discussed in the budget. Total revenues are the exact same because, like I said, we're a balanced budget, so those percentages are identical. The same amount of revenue coming in, we spend the exact same amount, so the expenditures are the exact same as the revenue coming in. Okay, so now here's the proposed property tax levy, and I gave you a little bit of a historical look at what we've done in the past year as far as what we've levied in the past, what the mill rate has been in the past. So right now, Fund 10 levy is about 55%. If you look at the pie graph, then Fund 39 is 18, Fund 38 is 26, and then Fund 80 is at 1%. So in the blue column on the far right, you can see Fund 10, the general fund, proposing that we levy $984,996. Fund 39 and 38 are in that 436,000, and then the 576,000, and then Fund 80 is 30,000, which puts us at a total of $2,028,095. Which then the table below the pie graph gives you a kind of a historical perspective on where we're at. So, so the mill rate is based off of per $100,000, and right now it might go up a little bit more than that, but right now the best guess proposal is that $9.81 per 100,000. So it's going down a little bit from the previous year, and actually dating all the way back to 2009, 2010. I guess more 10, 11 is the 10, 15. So it's definitely lower. Any questions? No? Okay. Page 12, I have the Clear Lake District mission and the core values that was board approved on July 25th, 2016. Then on page 13, we have the district profile. So we just have which most of you already know, but I put it in here just to show the different buildings that we have in the district: the elementary building, the junior senior high, the district office, which is connected to the high school, and then the bus garage as well. Page 14 has the school district school calendar for this school year. Page 15 has the athletic, extracurricular, and recreational activities. So we have the different male and female sports that we offer our students, both WIA affiliated and then non-WIA affiliated extracurricular activities in the district that we have. And with that, the athletic program, we have one new sport that was board approved this at the end of last year, was the cross-country team, which is new to the Clear Lake School District, and they've competed in 2 events already. So exciting to see another opportunity for our kids to have, to be available to them. And then the Clear Lake School District staff, we have the board members, the administration team, and then the instructional staff and support staff within both buildings. And then on page 18, we have the custodial staff, food service staff, and transportation staff as well. Any questions?
Mr. Wick.
I noticed I read that chart that was in the Henry paper that you had posted with breaking down the funds and stuff of that nature. Gifted and talented, there was a marked increase in what was set aside for gifted and talented for this coming year. And I'm wondering, is there going to be a salaried person for that, or is there?
Are you talking in the preliminary budget?
Under Fund 10, under regular instruction, there was the gifted and talented listed, and it had the 3 columns, and for this coming year was a marked increase from past years. So I was just wondering what was the status of the program? Is it going to be upgraded, or are we going to pursue that a little more?
Do you see it?
Went up to 8,000 there.
No.
But it's not listed on any of that.
Oh,
This was,
It's
this is what
broken
was
out.
posted in the paper last week.
Yeah.
And it was listed under Fund 10. And it said the category gifted and talented, and I was just kind of curious.
It's back on the preliminary.
Yeah.
Keep going fast.
I believe it's because we allocated some money last year. We spent a little more within the gifted and talented budget last year, so I bumped it up. We offered just a couple more things with Mrs. River Push for the kids last year. So no, we're not doing any staff increase. There was a kind of a mixture of purchases last year, both from within the PTO, I believe. Mr. Peterson, what were those robots called?
Autobots and
Ozobot?
on the spot now I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
of it.
sorry
Yeah.
to put you on the
Sphero
spot.
balls. And,
Yeah.
I didn't think it all comes out. I mean, I was just kind of curious.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some neat opportunities that Mr. River Push implemented for the kids. I'm gonna misspeak here, but some type of mapping. Is that what it's called? What do we call it?
It's a little robot.
Coding?
It's
Coding,
coding.
thank you.
It's a coding.
Or mapping.
The kids love it.
Yeah. But no staffing increase.
No, okay, no, that I was just wondering.
Yeah. The thing in the paper just breaks it down.
Does anybody have any other questions then on the budget and levy? Tax levy?
No, I make a motion to approve the budget and tax levy.
Do I hear a second?
second?
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the budget and tax levy as read through. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll move on to the approval of the school board salaries.
Quick question on that. I know the salaries have remained static for several years, 2,500. I'm wondering if there's been any comparables done on local districts. Are we sustaining comparable salary for our school board members? Are we falling behind? Are we in the middle of the pack, high of the pack? Do we know about that? Again, I know 2,500's been there for 5, 6 years, maybe longer. Just a question.
I've not looked into it. I know it wouldn't be difficult to survey the CISA 11 schools to see kind of where we fall.
5 years ago, as I recall, we were a little higher than the middle of the pack for local districts, maybe even like statewide. So we were in good shape, but we weren't, high in the number, and we certainly weren't low. So that's just a question on my part. So
It wasn't on a radar, but thanks.
I've been on that side of the table a few times.
No, it hasn't been a conversation at all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make it a part of the conversation. I would like to make a motion that we increase that to 2,600, since we ask of our board that they sustain the ongoing education of the Wisconsin Association of School Board workshops in order to sustain their salary. So my motion is that we bump it to 26 from 25, as long as they're maintaining those workshops to accomplish the goal of receiving their salary checks. That's my motion, if that made any sense at all.
Yep. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we increase the school board salaries from 2,500 to 2,600 a year. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to our consent agenda, where in the past I'd read them aloud and then we would approve them all in one lump sum. So,
Hold on. Can we, with the, Randy, with the WASB, can we include the endorsed
webinar.
webinars? Thank you. As part of that.
Oh, sure. I mean, what what we've been doing is what is part of my motion, that as far as the WIAA,
WASB.
WASB support, ongoing education for our board members is sustained in terms of your satisfaction as a board and the administration. That's the spirit of my motion.
So
Does that make sense?
your motion included any WASB endorsed professional development.
Indeed.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Randy. Okay, so I ask permission from the floor to allow me to read through the consent agenda, and we group them into one for a motion at the end. All right, so then we'll read them off then. The consent agenda includes authorization, or to authorize the operation of a school lunch program, to authorize the provision for student insurance, to authorize the board to short-term borrow to continue the operation of the district, authorize the board to sell tangible surplus property, authorize reimbursement of school board members for expenses incurred, authorize the board to transport students, and authorize the prosecution of defense of any school litigation. So I will entertain a motion to approve. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the state of the district with Mr. Ernst's superintendent's report.
Okay. Before I pass it on to the two principals, because I'm sure you're getting sick of hearing me talk, just want to say a couple things. Things that we've done last year. We moved to a new mission and vision with the core value statements. We switched to Google last year, and this year, the main focuses for this year, which kind of just on the tail end of revamping our safety procedures, redoing those, adding some new pieces to those. We're going to be rolling those out to the staff here at the next in-service, or at the first in-service on Wednesday. And then the main focus for the year, we're going to continue to push forward with technology. We're hoping to have the technology plan, have a 3-year plan for a one-to-one, some type of one-to-one device for all students in the district to really get technology in every student's hands. We purchased a couple Chromebook carts this year, and we're going to continue moving forward with that. Another focus will be unpacking standards for the teachers in the district in both buildings, so looking at kind of how we grade and the purpose of grading, but mainly looking at what those standards really mean and what we're teaching in the classrooms. And then lastly, looking at revamping the board policies, hopefully going through each policy and revamping those this year, probably even into next year. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Peterson to do the elementary
All right, thank you.
update.
Just a few brief highlights of things at the elementary school. We had another very successful summer school this year with strong attendance. Attendance has been down a little bit, but strong and very successful in terms of student participation and staff activities that we did. I want to thank our support staff that's been working over the summer, custodians, secretaries, transportation, IT, technology staff, food service. They've all been working very hard over the summer, doing the last minute preparations yet this week. Some exciting things for this year. We're doing a little bit of a modification to our schedule at the elementary school, where we're going to follow a 6-day rotational schedule instead of a traditional 5-day. Instead of Monday through Friday, we'll have day 1 through day 6. Really isn't going to impact, people outside the building aren't really going to feel any impact of that. It's just a change in what day they'll go to which special classes like music and art and Phi Ed and things like that. But that's something, a little adjustment inside of the building. Along with that too, we're going to be having for our older students, 2nd grade on, recess before lunch, which is a departure. It's something that many schools are doing with success. We're going to have a new reading series and language arts series this year, Reach for Reading, which our board approved this past spring. We're very excited about implementing that. Staff did some training this summer. They're eager to get going on it. Another big thing, we're doing an open house format that's new this year, as many people have heard. So the first day of school will actually be a modified day from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Parents bring their kids into school, and we'll have a range of activities that they can participate in. We'll continue on with our character education program that we've been had going for the last few years. We've got a few smaller items on the playground that we'll be adding, actually being installed this week. Thank you to the PTO for fundraising for those. Like Mr. Ernst said, new technology initiatives, including continuing to use Google for our staff and students, Google resources, some additional iPads and Chromebooks to add to what we already have. We do have just one new staff member, Candace McHugh, who will be a special education teacher at the elementary school. And those are the highlights. And encourage people to follow the district on Facebook if you don't already. You don't have to be a Facebook member to do so, but you can click into our district website and you can follow all the neat things that are happening in the district by doing it. So, thank you.
All right, in junior senior high school, a couple of things wrapping up last year. We continued to do well with our advanced placement classes in high school. We had 16 students that took AP exams, 13 passed with scores of 3 or better, which makes them eligible for college credit for those courses. And we had 11 of our 14 students that were taking those courses that earned those scores. So some students took more than one class. Athletics did well. We had some conference champs in boys basketball and wrestling. Like Mr. Peterson, I'd like to really thank our IT staff, our custodial staff, our kitchen staff, and our office staff for all the work that they do in the summer to help us get ready for kids when they come back in the fall. They do a fabulous job keeping this place running. New stuff this year, we've got Mrs. Peterson hired for business ed. We really hope that brings some stability to our program. We've had some turnover lately, and it's really nice to have somebody local in that position, so hopefully we can really start building on that program. We've got Cheryl Wetterland hired. She's going to be our long-term sub this fall for Mrs. Carlson, who's out on maternity leave. And we've hired Patty Jakenchek as our special ed director in the district. So that'll help also having that position within the district full time. Some athletics are going really well this fall. Echoing what Mr. Ernst was talking about, football and volleyball are off and running. Doing very well. Homecoming is early this week. It's the week of September 18th to the 23rd with a football game on Friday against Flambeau. Our cross-country time for our cross-country team, from what I understand, is the first time in Clear Lake we've had a cross-country team, and we've got 12 runners out. They're off to a good start as well. Mrs. Niles from the elementary is our coach for that program. Tomorrow night we'll be hosting in the building our 7th grade orientation night, where we welcome in the 7th graders and their parents, and we run them through lockers and we'll taste of what's in the building for them. And finish up with some door prizes and things like that, just to try to bring them in and put them at ease for coming to school and being new to the building. A couple of things within the building that are pretty exciting this year. We've got a dedicated project lab space. We're going to use a classroom that has some sinks and some other things in there, and have a reserved space for teachers that are interested in pursuing a project-based learning kind of environment, where they can set up the lab, reserve it for the week, and run through their lab process or their project with their kids without having to tie up their classroom for that. So we have this as a dedicated space for Project Lab. We've overhauled the ITV room, which is our distance learning room, where we can take students can take classes that are taught in other locations throughout the state. That's now going to be web-based, and that therefore we can have more than one session, more than one class running at the same time, where they can it's actually going to be where they can sit at a laptop, technically anywhere quiet in the building and take the course. So that's pretty exciting. And then lastly, Mr. Ernst talked about some of the technology that we're buying in the building. We have Chromebooks in carts that we can roll from room to room and check out as needed, and consider them a classroom set. There's enough in there to have a whole class using them, in addition to the labs that we have that are hardwired. So we really have available all kinds of technology for kids, for teachers to work with kids. So we're excited to get back and get another year rolling.
Also rolling out all Chromebooks to all the teachers this year in preparation for the one-to-one devices in the next years to come here, to get a device in every student's hand. I'd also like to say, with this position kind of unique, where it feels like it's ending, even though we're getting ready to begin the budgeting cycle and process has just kind of come to an end here, and I'd like to thank Mrs. Karnick and Ms. Norby for all their help in the district office. And then also the admin team, a great admin team here, preparing for in-service and getting things ready. Like I mentioned, we've been working on the safety plans and getting the in-services ready and all that the scheduling. So a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. And then also thank you to Mrs. Funk for being part of the safety procedures. And then I failed to mention the coach's handbook that's also kind of coming, and Mrs. Funk was been a huge part of that as well. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff. A lot of great people in the district, like both Mr. Peterson and Mr. Gillis mentioned, all the individuals that keep the building going and make it look as nice as it does. 'Cause not all school districts in this area of this side look as nice as ours looks. I mean, we really have a beautiful campus, both buildings, and it doesn't just happen. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. So, and to have 4 kids of my own in a district where everything's the classroom teachers are remarkable. I mean, we were very excited to be moving to the area, but in all honesty, it was really only half of the process as far as interviewing. My wife was a major part of that second part of the interviewing process as far as how our kids transitioned, and we couldn't truly, I couldn't have expected such a great transition for my kids in the district, and it really is because of the staff. So a huge thank you to the staff as we get ready for the in-service, and also thank you to the board for allowing us to do what we do and trust that that we're doing our job and getting ready for the year. So thank you. We're excited for the school year to start, and teachers will be here on Wednesday, and kids will be here on the 6th and 7th, and then it'll quickly feel like we never left, and everything will start rolling.
Very good. Well, thank you. The next item of business we have is discussion of our future annual meeting date. So I leave it open to the floor.
I think you guys set the date of staying on this
So it's typically been the second meeting in August.
holiday and
Second Monday.
Should we
or the
stay with
4th.
tradition then? And
So that'll be August 27th.
August 27th then.
2018.
Okay. Then I don't know if we need a motion for that or not.
I'll give you a motion. Set it for the 27th of August, 2018.
Do I hear a second then for?
Sure, second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the 22nd would be our next annual meeting date. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion passes. And that concludes our annual meeting. I will
Move to adjourn.
entertain. Do I hear a second?
second.
I properly moved and seconded twice that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.
Thanks for coming
Thanks
in.
for coming in, you guys.
Thanks, guys.